The stars looked calm, like tiny cold lights floating in space, but Ethan Cross knew something was wrong. He was alone in a small patrol ship, flying near a region of space that every human pilot avoided. People called it the Silent Drift, a strange zone where signals died and ships sometimes disappeared forever. Ethan was not scared easily, but tonight he felt something heavy inside his chest, like the universe was holding its breath. His ship's control screen flickered again. "Come on, not now," Ethan whispered, tapping the console. He was returning from a routine survey, nothing dangerous, nothing worth worrying about. But then a new signal began appearing on his radar, a huge energy pulse moving fast, straight toward him. Ethan sat up, confused. "That can't be right, there's nothing out here." The pulse grew stronger. The lights inside the cockpit dimmed. The windshield turned bright white, as if a giant flash had exploded outside. The ship shook violently. Alarms screamed. Metal groaned. Ethan grabbed the controls and tried to steady the ship, but it felt like a giant invisible hand had caught him. "Mayday, Mayday, Control, do you copy? I'm losing power." No answer. Only silence. Not even static. The ship was dead. Ethan's heart raced. Gravity shifted, pulling him to the side. The ship spun. His vision blurred as the stars stretched into streaks of light. He could feel the hull heating up as he fell into the atmosphere of an unknown planet. Outside the window, clouds glowed purple and blue. Lightning cracked in slow, strange circles, as if the storms were alive. Ethan had never seen anything like this. "I have to land this, come on, Ethan, think." He forced power to the emergency thrusters. Sparks burst, smoke filled the cabin, but the ship slowed just enough to avoid exploding. The ground rushed closer. Dark forests. Glowing rivers. A strange fog curling like long fingers over the land. The ship crashed. The impact was brutal. Metal tore. The ship skidded across the ground, leaving a deep burning trail behind. Ethan's seat restraints snapped and threw him hard to one side. For a moment, everything went dark. When he opened his eyes, the ship was silent. Broken. Ruined. Small fires burned around him. Sparks dropped from the ceiling. His suit was torn at the shoulder and blood slowly dripped down his arm. He groaned and pushed broken panels aside. His breathing was heavy. Each breath hurt. "I'm alive, somehow." He crawled out of the ship. Cold air hit his face immediately. The forest around him glowed softly, as if tiny lights were trapped inside the leaves. The ground pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat. The sky above him was a swirl of purple clouds. Then he heard it. A sound. Gentle. Soft. But not human. He froze. It came again, like distant whispering, but layered, like more than one voice speaking at once. Ethan reached for the emergency light on his belt and clicked it on. The beam cut through the fog, and he saw tall shapes moving. Not animals. Not men. Something else. His heart thumped loud. "Who's there?" he called, though his voice trembled more than he wanted. No answer. Only more soft whispers. The fog shifted, and suddenly he saw glowing eyes, 3, then 5, then 10 pairs watching him from a distance. His throat tightened. He took a step back, but the ground behind him cracked loudly under his boot. The whispering stopped. The glowing eyes moved closer. Ethan stumbled and grabbed a piece of metal from the wreck, using it like a weapon. "Stay back. I don't want to hurt anyone." But they did not stop. The shapes came out of the fog. Tall. Strong. Elegant. Female forms, with long limbs and glowing markings across their skin. Their faces were sharp and beautiful but alien, with eyes brighter than the stars above. Each one moved like a trained warrior, silent, careful, confident. They wore armor made of dark plates and crystal bands that shone faintly in the soft purple light. One of them stepped forward. She was taller than the rest, with long hair flowing like liquid silver. She knelt beside Ethan, touching his shoulder gently. Her fingers were warm, almost comforting. "Human," she whispered. Ethan's heart stopped. She spoke his language. "How?" Her eyes met his. There was no fear in them, only curiosity, and something else, something like ownership. The other women circled around him, speaking in their own language, voices smooth and melodic. Ethan tried to stand but his legs shook and he fell back to his knees. "Please, I don't want trouble." The silver-haired woman studied his wounds. Then she lifted his chin lightly, forcing him to look into her glowing eyes. "You fell from the sky," she said. "So you belong to us now." Before Ethan could react, darkness rushed into his vision again. His body collapsed. The last thing he saw was the alien woman's face close to his, her expression unreadable, her glowing hand resting over his heart. And he understood only one thing. He had survived the crash. But the real danger was just beginning. Ethan stood in the center of a large stone hall, surrounded by shadows and silence. The air was colder here, heavier, like it carried something ancient. Torches burned along the walls, their flames blue instead of red. The strange color made the whole chamber feel unreal. Huntresses formed a circle around him. Every face watched him with sharp eyes, some curious, some doubtful, some hungry for a challenge. Saria stepped forward, her expression unreadable. "This is the trial of the night beasts," she said. "If you survive, the Viren clan will accept you. If not..." She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. Ethan's heart thumped painfully. "I didn't ask for this trial," he said. "I didn't come here to fight your monsters." The queen appeared on the high balcony above them, her golden eyes glowing in the dim light. She raised her hand. "You fell on sacred ground," she said. "Every outsider must prove worth, or be forgotten." Forgotten. The word twisted inside Ethan like a blade. 2 guards brought him a small metal rod, bent, scratched, barely a weapon. "This is from your ship," Saria said. "Use it if you want. Or drop it if you prefer to die quickly." Ethan swallowed hard. The fear in his chest felt heavy, but something else grew with it, anger. He didn't come across half the galaxy to die like this. Not without a fight. He gripped the rod tightly. "I'm ready," he said. The queen snapped her fingers. The ground shook. Massive stone gates slowly opened, releasing a wave of cold air. The darkness inside was deep, thick, alive. Ethan stepped back without planning to. A low growl crawled out of the shadows. Then another. And another. The night beasts emerged. They were huge, twice the size of a tiger, with long legs and glowing stripes across their bodies. Their eyes were neon blue, and their teeth sparkled like crystal blades. Their movements were silent, almost graceful, but every step echoed danger. Ethan felt sweat on his palms. The beasts circled him, sniffing, studying him, deciding how to kill him. The huntresses watched with calm faces. For them, this was normal. For Ethan, this was death staring at him with glowing eyes. The first beast struck. It leaped forward, claws flashing. Ethan dove to the side just in time, rolling across the ground. The beast smashed into the stone where he had stood, cracking it deeply. He scrambled to his feet, gasping. Okay, think, Ethan, think." The beasts didn't attack fast, they tested him, played with him, like predators enjoying the hunt. Ethan held his breath. He let them come closer. He waited for the right moment. When the second beast lunged, Ethan dropped to the ground, sliding under its belly. He struck upward with the metal rod, once, twice. The beast roared and stumbled. The crowd of huntresses gasped softly. They had not expected that. Saria's eyes widened with surprise. The queen leaned forward in her seat. The beasts circled again, this time angrier. Ethan backed up slowly until his heel touched something, a broken stone pillar. An idea sparked. When the first beast charged again, Ethan turned and ran toward the pillar. At the last second he jumped aside. The beast couldn't stop. It slammed into the pillar with crushing force. The heavy stone cracked, then fell. Right on top of the beast. The arena shook when it hit the ground. Dust lifted into the air. The huntresses murmured in shock. Ethan stared, breathing hard. He couldn't believe he actually did it. One beast was down. But another still remained. The last one crouched low, growling deeply. Its blue eyes glowed brighter. It didn't attack right away, it waited, smarter than the others. "Great," Ethan whispered. "You're the clever one." The beast approached slowly, its body low, ready to pounce. Ethan's muscles screamed, but he forced himself to stay alert. He couldn't outrun it. He couldn't overpower it. But he could outthink it. When the beast leaped, Ethan didn't dodge. Instead, he charged toward it. The huntresses gasped again. Ethan slid on the ground, rolling under the beast's jump, just like before. But this time he grabbed a sharp stone piece lying on the floor. As he rolled out behind the beast, he stabbed the stone into its rear leg. The beast howled in pain and fell to one side. Ethan didn't wait, he grabbed his metal rod and struck its neck again and again until the creature stopped moving. Silence filled the arena. Ethan stood in the middle, breathing hard, covered in dust, sweat, and adrenaline. The beasts lay still behind him. For a long moment, no one moved. Then the queen slowly stood up. Her golden eyes glowed brighter. "Human," she said, her voice carrying across the hall. "You surprised us." Saria stepped forward, her face softer than before. "You fought with no training, no real weapon, no fear." Ethan laughed weakly. "Oh, I felt fear. A lot." The queen lifted her arm. "This trial is complete. The human lives." The hall erupted with strange chants. Huntresses pounded their chests, some nodding in respect, some staring with new interest. Saria approached him and placed her hand over his shoulder. "You have earned your place," she said quietly. "But be careful, Ethan, surviving the beasts was only the first test." Ethan frowned. "First? What's next?" Saria looked toward the queen's throne. Her eyes darkened with warning. "The queen's interest," she said softly, "can be more dangerous than any creature in this arena." And Ethan understood. The beasts were not the real threat. The real danger was the attention he had just earned. Ethan woke slowly, like his mind was climbing out of deep water. At first there was only darkness, warm and heavy. Then he felt something soft under him, like animal fur. A strange sweet smell floated in the air. When he opened his eyes, the world around him didn't look real. He was lying inside a round chamber made of stone and crystal. The walls glowed with soft blue light, like stars trapped inside the rock. The ceiling was shaped like a dome with carvings of beasts, warriors, and moons circling each other. Ethan tried to sit up, but pain shot through his side. A bandage wrapped around his torso, glowing faintly like it had healing energy. Someone had treated him. Someone had touched him while he slept. His heart jumped. The alien women. A shadow moved. Ethan tensed immediately. He looked toward the doorway, and she appeared. The silver-haired woman from the crash. She stepped inside with slow, controlled grace. Her armor was gone now, replaced with a long cloth robe decorated with black symbols. Her glowing marks dimmed softly, like they were breathing with her. "You are awake," she said in a calm voice. Ethan swallowed hard. Where am I? She walked closer and placed a bowl of water near him. You are inside the Viren Hall. Our home. Our land. Viren. The word felt sharp, ancient. You saved me, Ethan asked, his voice shaky. We claimed you, she corrected gently. Saving is not the right word. Ethan's stomach tightened. Claimed. That didn't sound good. Before he could ask more, 2 more alien women entered. They were slightly shorter than the first, but still tall compared to human women. One carried fruits that glowed soft green. The other had long braids wrapped with metal rings. They all looked at him with the same expression, curiosity mixed with silent judgment. Ethan felt like an animal on display. The silver-haired leader knelt near him again. Eat, she said. You need strength. Ethan studied the fruit. Is it safe? She tilted her head. Safe for us. Not sure for you. Her tone was serious, not joking. He pushed the bowl away slowly. I'll wait. The tall woman's eyes narrowed slightly, not with anger, more like interest. You have caution. Good. Ethan pulled himself up with difficulty. What do you want from me? The leader finally spoke her name. I am Saria, High Huntress of the Viren clan. Huntress. That explained why they moved like warriors. Saria continued, your coming was written. Our watchers saw a fire fall from the sky. They knew something rare had arrived. I didn't come here by choice, Ethan said. My ship crashed. Nothing falls here by accident, Saria replied softly. This land chooses what it receives. Ethan felt a cold shiver. The way she spoke made it sound like the planet itself had dragged him down. Before he could respond, a loud horn echoed through the chamber, deep, vibrating, like a giant calling out. The alien women turned their heads sharply. Saria stood. The Queen calls you, she said. Queen, Ethan repeated, confused. Why would a queen want to see me? Saria didn't answer. She simply gestured for him to follow. Ethan tried to stand, wincing from the pain. The 2 other huntresses stepped forward to help him, but he raised a hand. I can walk, he said. The women paused, surprised by his stubbornness. Saria's eyes softened a little. Humans are weaker, she said. We thought you would need help. Ethan gave a small, tired smile. Don't count humans out so fast. Saria observed him like he had revealed a hidden truth. The group walked through the halls. The place was huge, tunnels carved in stone, lit by crystals, filled with the sound of distant chants. Alien warriors trained in open chambers, sparring with glowing weapons. Some paused and stared as Ethan walked by. They whispered in their language. The Skyfallen. The Outsider. The Strange Male. Ethan felt every gaze like a weight on his shoulders. They reached a massive gate decorated with symbols. Huge beast skulls hung above it. Inside, the Queen waited. When Ethan entered, he saw her sitting on a throne made of polished bone and crystal. She was older than Saria but stronger in presence. Her hair was dark blue, her eyes bright gold. She wore armor that looked ceremonial, yet deadly. 2 guards stood beside her, holding long spears. The Queen studied Ethan with a slow, intense stare. So this is the human, she said, her voice rich and commanding. Ethan bowed slightly. He wasn't sure if that was correct, but it felt respectful. I didn't mean to enter your land, he said. My crash. Yes, the Queen interrupted. Your fall lit the sky. Our hunters saw you burn like a star. She leaned forward. You are rare. And rare things have value. Ethan felt uneasy. What kind of value? The Queen stood. She walked closer, each step echoing in the hall. She circled him slowly, examining his height, his wounds, his hands. A male from the stars, she said softly. Our legends speak of your kind. Saria stepped forward. My queen, we must test him. We must know his strength. Test. The word hit Ethan like a punch. Test me how? He asked, voice tight. The queen smiled in a way that was not comforting. You will face the night beasts, she said. And if you survive, perhaps you truly belong here. Ethan's heart dropped. Beasts? Survive? Saria looked at him with a strange mix of pity and admiration. Prepare yourself, human, she whispered. Your real fight is coming. And Ethan realized. Crashing on this planet wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of a much darker challenge. The arena was still echoing with chants when Ethan was led back through the glowing halls of the Viren stronghold. His legs ached, his lungs burned, and every bruise screamed in pain. Yet his mind stayed sharp. Too sharp. Something felt wrong. He hadn't just survived a test. He had been evaluated. Measured. Weighed. And all the huntresses now looked at him differently. Some looked impressed. Some looked threatened. Some looked possessive. Saria walked beside him, silent, but her eyes moved constantly, watching the guards, the halls, the shadows. Ethan finally spoke. You said the queen's interest is dangerous, he whispered. Why? Saria didn't answer. Not yet. They reached a small chamber. Soft light glowed from the walls and a bowl of warm water stood in the corner. Saria closed the door behind them and checked the shadows like she expected someone to be hiding. Only when she was sure the room was empty did she speak. You fought with instinct. You thought like a survivor. That makes you rare among males. Valuable. Ethan frowned. Valuable for what? Saria lowered her voice. For power. He didn't understand. Power? I'm just one human. Injured. Lost. And that, Saria said softly, is exactly why you are dangerous. She moved closer and touched the glowing marks on her arm. Our queen believes your arrival is a sign. A prophecy called the Starborn Omen. A mail from the sky who will bring unity or destruction. Ethan blinked. Me? Seriously? Saria didn't smile. You fought the night beasts. You survived the skyfall. These are signs to her. Ethan shook his head. It was luck. Nothing else. Saria stepped closer. Her voice became almost a whisper. Luck does not exist in our land. Ethan fell silent. Her seriousness was unsettling. She continued. The queen will try to mark you as hers. If she marks you, you lose freedom. You become part of the throne. A symbol. A tool. Ethan felt a cold wave rush down his spine. I don't want to be anyone's tool. Saria's eyes softened. I know. That is why I'm warning you. Ethan studied her face. Why are you helping me? She turned away quickly. Because not all huntresses agree with the queen's ways. And because your arrival has already changed things. Before Ethan could ask more, the door suddenly swung open. A young huntress entered, breathing fast. Saria. The queen calls the human again. Now. Saria hid the worry in her eyes. We are coming. The huntress left, and Saria grabbed Ethan's arm tightly. Listen to me, she said. Do not accept anything she offers. Not food. Not drink. Not a gift. Not a touch. Ethan frowned. Why? Because anything from the queen can bind you to her, Saria whispered. And once bound, you belong. Ethan felt his stomach twist. How do I refuse without offending her? Surya met his eyes. You do not refuse. You delay. You question. You stay unclaimed. She placed a hand briefly on his arm, a rare gesture of trust. If you want to survive here, Ethan, you must stay unpredictable. They entered the great hall. Torches cast long shadows on the carved walls. The queen stood at her throne, wearing dark armor and glowing bracelets. Her golden eyes fixed on Ethan immediately. She smiled slowly. The human arrives. Ethan bowed his head slightly. Your Majesty. You fought well today, she said. Very well. She circled him again, examining him closely. Your instincts are strong. Your spirit is sharp. We have not seen a male like you. Ethan forced himself to stay calm. I did what I had to do. The queen raised her hand, and a servant brought a glowing silver band. The queen held it out to him. This is a gift, she said. Accept it, and you become honored in this land. Ethan felt his pulse race. Surya's warning echoed in his mind. He bowed slightly. Queen, I am grateful. But I don't yet know the customs of this world. If I accept wrongly, I may disrespect someone. The queen's eyes narrowed slightly, not angry, but intrigued. You are cautious. Rare. She drew her hand back slowly. Very well. You will learn our ways first. Then you will accept. Surya exhaled softly, relief hidden behind a hard expression. But the queen wasn't done. One more thing, she said. Your ship did not fall by accident. Ethan froze. What? The queen walked to a large table with a strange device, cracked metal, glowing wires. She touched it gently. Our sky watchers found this near your crash. She looked at Ethan. Your ship was pulled down by a signal. Ethan's chest tightened. What kind of signal? Not from us, the queen said. Something else, something ancient, called you here. Before Ethan could react, a loud alarm boomed through the hall. Guards ran inside. Their eyes were wide with fear. Queen, one shouted. We found a signal on the human's transmitter. The queen's gold eyes flared bright. Human ships. The guard shook her head slowly. No, my queen. Not humans. A different empire. They are coming here. Ethan felt the world tilt. Unknown aliens. Coming for him. Surya grabbed his arm tightly. Ethan, this is bad. Very bad. And the queen whispered. Whoever pulled you from the sky, is returning. The huntresses tensed. The hall filled with fear. And Ethan understood this was no longer about survival. It was about something bigger, darker. Something that wanted him, and would destroy anything in its way. The alarm echoed through every stone hallway of the Viren stronghold. The blue torches flickered. Huntresses rushed to the walls, grabbing weapons that glowed like lightning trapped inside metal. The ground trembled with heavy footsteps and distant roars. Ethan stood frozen for a moment as fear and confusion crashed over him. Who's coming? He asked. His voice felt small in the huge hall. Surya looked at him with dread in her eyes. The Dravic Empire, she whispered. The worst ones. They destroy, they steal, they conquer. Ethan felt his stomach twist. But, why would they come here? What do they want from me? The queen stepped forward, her golden eyes sharp as blades. They tracked your ship. They want what fell from the sky, you. The weight of her words hit him like a punch. Surya grabbed his arm. Follow me. Now. Wait, Ethan said. You'll fight them. For me. Surya didn't look back. We fight for our land. And now, you are part of it. Outside the stronghold, the sky was no longer purple. It was red. Massive alien ships hovered above the forest, glowing with sickly green lights. Beams shot down, burning trees and exploding ground. The Dravik soldiers marched like living machines, tall armored brutes with metal masks and weapons crackling with energy. Huntresses lined up across the cliffs and towers, their silhouettes strong against the burning sky. Ethan's heart pounded. He had seen alien war before, but never from this side. Never this close. They will come straight here, Saria said. They always attack the heart first. The queen raised her hand and shouted an order. Prepare the shield. Protect the starborn. Ethan turned to her. I'm not starborn. I'm just. Quiet, she said sharply. You survived the skyfall. You survived the beasts. You survived our trials. That makes you more than you think. Before Ethan could respond, a giant blast hit the outer wall, shaking the ground beneath them. Rocks fell. Smoke rose. Huntresses shouted orders. The Dravik soldiers broke through the first gate. Saria drew two glowing blades from her back. Ethan, she said, stay behind me. You are not trained for this. But Ethan clenched his fists. He wasn't helpless. He wasn't the kind of man to hide while others fought for him. No, he said. I fight with you. Saria shot him a hard look, half anger, half respect. Then stay close. Don't die. I am not carrying your body again. The Dravik soldiers charged through the broken gate. Their weapons fired bursts of crackling green energy. Huntresses leaped from higher levels, fierce and fast, slashing through armor with glowing blades. Ethan saw one huntress thrown back by an energy blast. Without thinking, he rushed toward her, grabbing a fallen spear. It felt heavy but balanced. The Dravik soldier swung at him. Ethan ducked and jabbed forward, hitting a weak point at the neck joint. The soldier fell, armor sparking. Saria saw it and shouted. Good. Now move. They fought back to back, surrounded by chaos. Ethan's body hurt from earlier wounds, but adrenaline pushed him forward. More coming on the right, he yelled. Saria spun, slicing through two Draviks with one motion. I see them. More explosions rocked the ground. The stronghold walls cracked. The trees near the cliffs burned like torches in the wind. Then a deeper sound filled the air. Ethan looked up, and froze. A giant Dravik warwalker stepped through the flames. A towering machine with legs like armored pillars, glowing cannons, and a cockpit shield that pulsed with red light. Huntresses shouted warnings. Arrows and spears bounced off its shell. Blasts tore through the defenders. The queen clenched her jaw. Bring it down. But nothing worked. The walker moved forward like an unstoppable giant. Saria pulled Ethan behind a broken pillar. We need to retreat. No, Ethan said suddenly. I know how to stop that thing. Saria stared at him. You can't fight a warwalker. I repaired something like it in the Republic War, Ethan said quickly. Their underplates have a heat vent. If I get close enough, I can overload it. Saria's eyes widened. You want to run toward that monster? Are you mad? Maybe, Ethan whispered. But we don't have time. Before she could stop him, he sprinted toward the warwalker. Heat blasted against his face. Explosions thundered around him. Huntresses yelled after him. Dravik soldiers fired, but Ethan jumped over rubble, rolled past falling stones, and slid under the walker's massive legs. He found the vent, a small glowing circle beneath the cockpit. Come on. He jammed his stolen spear into the vent, twisting it until sparks exploded. The walker shook violently. Above, the queen saw it. The human. He is inside it. Saria shouted desperately. Ethan, roll out. Now. Ethan pushed himself away just as the Warwalker's core went critical. A second later. Boom! The blast was huge. Fire and smoke shot into the sky. The walker collapsed, shaking the entire stronghold. Silence followed. A stunned, breathless silence. Then the huntresses roared in victory. Saria ran to Ethan, grabbing him by the shoulders. "You idiot," she yelled. "You almost died." Ethan smiled weakly. Almost. The queen approached, her golden eyes glowing brightly. She looked at Ethan not like a prisoner, not like a tool, but like a warrior. "Human," she said, voice heavy with respect. "You have fought beside us. You have saved our land. The Viren honor you as one of us." Huntresses pounded their chests in salute. Saria stepped closer and whispered. "You changed everything, Ethan. Your coming, it shifted the balance of this world." Ethan gazed at the burning sky, breathing hard. "I didn't plan any of this." She smiled softly. "Destiny never asks permission." And just as the flames settled, a small blue signal blinked on Ethan's broken transmitter. Saria noticed. "What is that?" Ethan stared at it, heart racing. "A human signal," he whispered. "Someone from Earth is coming." And the true story of this strange world was only beginning.